Hey, this is Sean with the Atlanta Tennis Podcast, powered by GoTennis. Check out our calendar of Metro Atlanta tennis events at letsgotennis.com and look out for our upcoming fall festival in November. See our ad in Net News, and we hope to see you all there. Today is 10 minutes of tennis with world-renowned tennis coach, Australian in Puerto Rico, Justin Yeo, and we are doing 10 tips in 10 minutes. So starting now, we've got 9.5 minutes to go. Justin, we're talking about volleys. So jumping right in, tip number 1, have the right mindset. No fear, all risk. What's that?
Yep, I'm constantly trying to tell people, if you haven't got the right mindset on a volley, you're never going to learn how to volley in the first place. So there's a lot of people that live with fear on the net, where the ball's going to hit them, or they're not sure, or they feel like they can't put the ball away, so they're skeptical about hitting a volley. And because of that fear, it's very hard to progress or evolve anything, whether it's technical or stance or whatever. So I tell everyone, try to make sure you think about the right mindset first. When you get to the net, that you're willing to take a lot of risk and have a go at everything. And that helps you progress your volley. So mindset is a big one to start with.
Number 2, stance is everything.
Stance is everything. Absolutely. My other tips are sort of following this, so I don't want to give too much about it. But the stance, the biggest thing about stance is to be down and loaded or down and engaged before the player strikes the ball. And that's why I say stance is everything. Because if you're not down and loaded or engaged before they strike the ball, usually the ball's on its way and then you're down, but now your weight is back, or you're not ready to push off, or you're not willing to see where you have to go for the ball. So stance, I keep saying to people, you really need to make sure you learn to find a good stance in a volley. And commonly too, a lot of people, elbows to the chest. I actually say bring your elbows away so it forces you into an athletic base. Because elbows here make you sit, and then rackets behind you versus racket in front of you. So there's the stance part.
Tip number 2.5 with the elbows out. That's good. Legs are key. Number 3, legs are key to amazing volleys. Why are the legs key?
100%. If you haven't got any kind of mass and weight, which is definitely your lower body as you drive behind the volley, if you've got your legs and as Australian, we say bum. You guys say backside or whatever you want to call it, or your glutes. But unless that's all fully engaged and your weight's down and you're ready to go with your legs, your arms are trying to make up for it. And so I see a lot of people mess up on the volley just because they're not loaded, they're not putting the weight into the legs. They think it's all to do with here. So I keep trying to tell people legs, 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 legs. And once they do it, they learn a good lunge or they learn a good thing. Their volley improves just like that.
Number 4, use the correct foot for easy volleys. Which is the correct foot?
Yeah, this is what I'd like to do actually one day, a workshop, about this, because if you go online now, you can watch the players when they go a right-hander, when they go for a forehand, it's the right leg that goes outwards as they're going to push off to hit the volley. And commonly, I still see coaches, which I want to hang them by the neck, is they still seem to want to tell people, step with your left and then hit a volley. And as soon as you step with the left, you're not getting any rotation, and you're also putting all your weight down before you even hit the volley. The concept of if you can use this leg with this foot and then this leg with that foot, you learn how to drive your weight behind the ball and hit the volley. Of course, you're still correct and use the foot to balance afterwards, which is what the coach is teaching you, but it's not before. So anyway, I try to tell people, if you can unlearn the foot stop across and learn this one first, you'll find you'll improve your volleys just like that.
Unlearn. Thank you, Yoda. Number 5, understand grip tension, waiting for a volley and during a volley. Grip tension.
Yeah, so grip tension, very simple. A lot of people will tend to, you can see my arm right now, if they hold the racket too tight and they're waiting, by the time they go to hit the ball, they're like, oh, I lost my racket. The bodies can't hold the racket any longer because it's been holding it. Once it hits the force of the racket, their grip just gives away. So I always tell people loose, then tight, loose, then tight, to try to learn how to really take advantage of being able to hit your reflexes. And also when you go to hit a volley, you feel the ball, you don't muscle the ball. And grip tension goes right up the arm. As you can already see, I'm pretty stiff versus actually now I can react if I'm nice and relaxed.
Number 6, read the racket, not the ball. I assume you're talking about my opponent's racket.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've mentioned this probably about a dozen times.
Yep.
The more you read the other player's racket or what they're going to do, you already know what the ball's going to do. So if you're waiting for the ball, there's a chance you're going to be slow. There's a chance you're not reading it where to go. There's a chance also in your processing time, you've taken away the time of knowing where to go and what you want to do and make a decision. So by reading the racket is giving you those milliseconds earlier to then become better and better and better at your volley.
Number 7, correct wrist cock.
Yep. A lot of people tend to have their wrist cock this way, and the wrist cock is actually this way. The racket head should come upwards, and not backwards. There's a lot of people.
And for those that are only listening, we're talking not pronating too much or supinating too much or dropping the racket head. Just to be clear on the audio only, right? Yeah. Am I still looking for, and I have a question on this one. My coach, when I was young, wanted me to have basically a 90-degree angle between the racket and my forearm. Is that similar to what you're saying?
Similar, but what you can do to get better and quicker is actually learn to tilt it back a little bit more towards you, so that way when the ball's coming, you've actually got that there or that there to the ball. So you're getting what we call bite on the ball. And so the wrist cock is really important to understand, because I see too many people do this. And as you can see, if I, just like you said, with the wrist supinating or pronating, if I do that, my elbow sort of gets in the wrong position too. It should be this way, all right? So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And there's a lot there. We could probably do our own 10 minutes of tennis on that one specifically as to how to use that wrist with the strength and how it works. So I'm glad I learned. Glad I learned one of the good things when I was little. Number 8, learn to volley from the service line to the net.
Yeah, I see a lot of people when they practice volleys, they're right up on the net all the time. And it's like, come on, man, you're going to be coming in, you're going to be volleying out of the air, you're going to be volleying low volleys, you're going to volley high volleys. And when, obviously with the power of the game these days, you're rarely going to get from baseline to net. You're going to have a step in the middle there. And so the more you practice volleys, the more you can actually come in and take time away when, especially if you play people that lob a lot, learn to come in and hit that first volley, take away the time, then close in and finish. But practice all over the box. Fortunately, at 51 years of age, growing up in Australia, all we knew was volley, volley, volley. So we were everywhere, low volleys, high volleys, everywhere. All you did is attack the net. And the game has evolved to that level again where people are coming in. So if you want to get good at volleys, it's not a matter of technique as much. It's a matter of practicing all over the box. So there you go.
I'd say even aside from the evolution of the professional game, we in Atlanta play a lot of doubles. And if you can't volley, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 9, an exercise to help strengthen stance. Is this one exercise you're going to give us, or are you just telling me I should exercise to strengthen my stance?
Yeah, no, just out of all our tips, I never usually try to give people exercises that will help them. So that's why I'm sort of seeing back, and you can see my legs now. But you can simply grab 2 rackets and hold 2 rackets and try to help you learn the strength of your lower back and learn the strength holding weight in the front. So then when you go down to 1 racket, this stance will feel like nothing. Or you can grab a medicine ball, real cheap medicine ball, or a couple of big bricks or anything just to get used to engaging with the shoulders with a relaxed grip, see, and then holding in the stance as well. So your weight, your lower back's getting used to everything being in front, because commonly this is where the volley problem is. So anyway, I just thought I'd give that exercise because it's real simple to do at home.
Yeah, I like it. Last one, number 10, learn to hit the outside of the ball. Now, I'm going to be pedantic here. Don't we always hit the outside of the ball? Because we can't hit the inside of the ball. But you're talking about how I describe it. If we picture the ball as a cube instead of a sphere, I'm going to hit if I'm a righty, I'm going to hit the right side of the ball. If I'm a lefty, I'm going to hit the left side of the ball. That's where you're going with this, right?
Yeah, and you're saying that on a forehand volley, but on a backhand volley, you're trying to come around the edge of the ball, around the outside of the ball. You're trying to come around the edge of the ball to the outside of the ball, which will help you with, if you're learning the hammer grip, right? You'll learn to hit. It'll help you hit angles. One of the things I can't stand is when you come to USTA and you have to learn to warm up volleys, and they're doing this all the time, back and forth to each other. And I'm like, yeah, why would you do that? You would volley away from the court, right? So learn to hit the outside edge. And in practice, when you have to hit straight up the middle, you still can learn the edge so that when you need to hit the angle, you can still hit the angle. Because otherwise, all you're doing is blocking the ball.
There we go. 10 tips in 10 minutes. Justin Yeo, as always, thank you, sir. We'll see you next week.